All right, I'll put that out.
Let's call the Are we on? We on? Let's call the Monday, December 4th, 2023 meeting of the Dalton City Council to order. We have an oath of office first.
Thank you. You could give pause. You'll just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Nicholas Lama. I, Nicholas Lama. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. Or affirm that I will. Or affirm that I will. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Discharge the duties of council member. Discharge the duties of council member. For the city of Dalton. For the city of Dalton. During my continuance in office. During my continuance in office. So help me God. So help me God. In addition thereto. I do solemnly swear. That I am not the holder. Of any unaccounted for. Public money. Due the state of Georgia. Or any political subdivision. Or authority thereof. I'm not the holder. Of any office. Of trust. Under the government. Of the United States. Any other state. Or any foreign state. Which by the laws of the state of Georgia. I'm prohibited from holding. I'm otherwise qualified. To hold said office. According to the Constitution. And laws. Of the state of Georgia. I will support the Constitution. Of the United States. And of this state. I've been a resident of the city of Dalton. In the ward to which I was elected. For the time required. By the Constitution. And the laws. Of the state. And charter. Of the city of Dalton. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Mock will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda is before you. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Not, I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Mock. Second by Mr. Fair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. There's no cards for public commentary. Minutes before you from the November 27th, 2023 meeting. Any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Mock.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lama. I got to remember that one now. Second by Mr. Lama. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. New business number 3, resolution 23-25 to adopt 2024 budgets for the general fund, debt service fund, capital projects fund, and special revenue funds.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You have before you a resolution to adopt the budget that was presented to you at the public hearing on November the 27th. There are no changes to the general fund. I did add 2 amendments to one amendment to the capital bonded projects fund to equal the transfer in and out. As you know, multi-year funds, you adopt them once and then you do amendments, and appropriations lapse each year on the general fund. So to make those reconcile, I did have to put in an amendment on here, and also for the state fiscal recovery fund. So we do have those changes, but it's just a balance to the numbers in the general fund.
Those are only 2 changes from last week.
The only 2 changes.
Yeah.
And it is a balanced budget, $45,529,000. And if you have any questions,
Any questions?
I am.
Your motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mock. Second by Mr. Farrell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 4 is we've got, I guess, 2023-2024 alcohol application You got that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This one is unique because it's a new application for the last month of 2023, but it will be a new license moving forward into 2024. Business owner is the Waggle LLC, doing business as the Waggle LLC. Applicants Jeffrey Tatum. Locations 825 Chattanooga Avenue, Suite 35. This is in the Mill mixed use area, and the license type is pouring beer and wine.
Is anyone here representing?
Do we have a representative?
Anybody want any questions?
No.
There a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Farah,
Second.
second, by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Now we got 146 2024 alcohol application renewals.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I talked to the city clerk today. These were all renewals with no revision. There were a couple of minor edits to the registered agent, but no license type changes or anything like that. So staff recommends that these be renewed for 2024.
Any questions? Motion by Mr. Mock, second by Mr. Lama. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 6, approval of the service agreement between Police Department and Flock Group, Inc. Chief.
Evening. This is a revision to an existing contract that we have in place with Flock as part of our 2024 budget. We included the addition of 2 additional Flock cameras in the budget that was approved tonight. And to lock in the current rate that we're paying for the Flock cameras for the 2 additional cameras, they offered to extend that for the life of the contract with us if we could do that before the end of this fiscal year. So this will end up saving us money over the course of the contract, and goes ahead and adds those 2 additional cameras to our contract that we had in place at this time.
Tell us again what this is for.
The Flock cameras, it's a system where it captures the data. We have them deployed on currently 4 fixed locations, and then we have 1 mobile camera, and they capture the data for areas that we frequently have retail theft crimes and those types of things, vehicle thefts and that sort of stuff. So it will send us alerts for certain vehicles that are involved in crime trends or patterns when it picks up on those vehicles. And it also will let us go back and query the data when we have some of those major box store thefts. We can go in and put in the physical descriptions of certain vehicles and other things, and we can go back during that time period and pull the vehicles that match that, and increases the solvability factors for those cases considerably. We have them currently in Whitfield County. We have 5. Whitfield County has 4. And then the surrounding jurisdictions are also putting these systems in. And we have MOUs with them that gives us access to their cameras as well. So we have access to hundreds of Flock cameras in the state of Georgia we can help use to solve crimes in Dalton. So it's a very beneficial tool, and we have solved crimes from using this technology. So it's been beneficial to the city to have.
Any other questions?
I don't have the exact number, but I can get our crime analysis individual to pull that information and reach back out to you if you like. So.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Mock,
Second.
second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign.
Thank you.
Number 7, mowing and landscaping services for fiscal year 24 through 26. Bid alternate A contract with Dillback Lawn and Landscape Design, Inc.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. This request is to award the mowing and landscaping services bid alternate A contract for fiscal years of 2024 through 2026 to Dillback Lawn and Landscape Design Incorporated. The total amount of the contract for the 3 years of service is $295,000 or $98,400 per year. Bid alternate A is inclusive of the 3 cemeteries that are maintained by the Public Works Department, which are the West Hill Cemetery, Oak Hill Cemetery, and the Old Presbyterian Cemetery. We received 6 bids for these services. Dillbeck was not the low bid, but the lowest bid had to be dismissed due to material errors in their bid tabulations, which led to their bid not being considered. This comes up with a positive recommendation from the Public Works Committee.
Any questions? Your motion?
So move.
Motion, by Mr. Goodlet?
I just had one
Yeah,
question.
okay.
Is there anything in those contracts that requests they pick up litter instead of running over litter?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I second that.
Second, by Mr. Mock, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 8, mowing and landscaping services fiscal year 24 through 26, bid alternate B and C contract with Imperial Landscapes, Inc.
So this request is to award the mowing landscaping services bid alternate B and C contract for fiscal years 2024 through 2026 to Imperial Landscapes Incorporated. The total amount for this contract for the 3 years of services is $323,699.82. The Public Works portion of the contract is $125,999.88, and the Parks and Recreation portion is $197,699.94 for the 3 years. Bid alternate B is inclusive of miscellaneous properties that are maintained by the Public Works Department, some of which are City Hall, Public Works Office, and Burr Park. Bid alternate C is inclusive of the majority of Parks and Recreation facilities. We received a total of 5 bids for these services, and Imperial was the lowest bidder for these, for both alternatives. This comes with a positive recommendation for the Public Works Committee as well as the Recreation Committee.
Any questions? Your motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Farah. Second by Mr. Lama. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 9, traffic control change for North Selvage Street to no parking.
So this traffic control change is proposing to make portions of North Selvage Street from Wall Street to Chattanooga Avenue, no parking on both sides of the road. This is stemming from a citizen's request as well as a request from the police department to aid in safety issues that the corridor is experiencing due to Selvage Street being reduced to one lane for several hundred feet for long periods of time, forcing vehicles into oncoming traffic. This corridor is not sufficient for on-street parking, and by approving this request, it will allow the police department to enforce the ordinance, ultimately eliminating the safety concern.
Do all the residences there have driveways?
Yes.
These are mostly commercial offices now, old residential structures that have been converted to law offices and things, and where they have separate parking lots.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Mr. Mock. Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 10, Arcadis Task Order 10, Crown Creek Regional Detention Study and Design.
This request is to execute the task order number 10 in the amount of $309,761 with the engineering consultant Arcadis to perform a study of the Crown Creek watershed originating from the Vernon Avenue area and terminating to Chattanooga Avenue near Chenille Drive. The purpose of this task order is to study the drainage basin and design a detention facility on city-owned property around the Beverly Drive and Vernon Avenue area. This is similarly to the Walnut format as the Walnut North drainage study was, and has the ability to produce great returns in relation to flow attenuation and minimizing impacts on Beverly Drive down to Chattanooga Avenue. So this location originated as part of the flood abatement plan results from the engineering consultant Arcadis. From there, the Public Works Department conducted a preliminary analysis and located 2 city-owned properties that are just outside of the 500-year floodplain that has potential to provide greatest means of flow attenuation. We passed this information along to Arcadis, and this is where they did concur with our findings that this can provide up to 50% reduction in flows on Wall Street and 100-year storm event all the way down to 20% reduction in flows, but potential all the way down at Crown Mills area. If this were to be approved tonight, this contract will take approximately 11 weeks to complete, and a public meeting as well is incorporated into this proposal.
Will this affect the storage company down there where the lumber yard used to be?
This is along the same drainage basin as that site that you're referring to. It will not directly affect that particular site as much as the downstream properties down at the Crown Garden Archives and the mill and locations like that.
It won't help it.
No, it will not provide a direct relief to that site. But we do have a project right now in the works, as you know, to help relieve some flooding on that site.
But that by itself still isn't going to relieve all their problems, is it?
For the most part, it was pretty substantial reduction to flooding on that site. It wasn't. I don't think that it got it to 100-year storm. But it was taking it from like flooding in a 1-year event to 25-year storm or 50-year storm. Pretty substantial improvement.
Okay. Any other questions? Your motion? Motion. Motion by Mr. Mock,
Second.
second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 11, appointment of Ken White to the Water Light and Sinking Fund Commission for a 5-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
Mr. Mayor, I'll speak to that since I'm the liaison. I did meet with Mr. White just to remind or inform members of the council that aren't aware, Mr. White did prior service with distinction to this board in the past. And I spent time with him and he's agreed to take it on again. I'm elated by that. He brings certainly a lot of financial expertise, something that's can be particular use to the board at this time. And certainly make that motion that we appoint him to this board.
Motion by Mr. Fair, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Mr. Minor, if we can impose upon you, Ethan did not make the meeting tonight, Ethan Calhoun. If you can take us through 12 through, I think it's 16. 12 through 16, explain to us with this Hamilton Medical Center, the rezonings and all that. And then what we'll do, we'll vote on each one at a time, but I'm gonna let him explain them all together here.
And Mayor, just as a matter of record, item 22 is also related to Hamilton as well.
Okay, if you can go ahead and include that one too, Tom, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. This is a related request, as you've indicated, relating to the annexation of approximately 13 tracts of land owned by Hamilton Medical Center and one by an affiliated entity called HMC Holdings, Inc., as well as a rezoning petition for approximately 47 tracts of land located within the city limits of Dalton. While not exactly connected, they are all related, and this all came up in connection with discussions about the Lofts project, which I'm sure y'all are familiar with, the apartment complex down on Broderick Drive. So I can also speak to the de-annexation for the Kobachi tract, which is also on the agenda as item 17. So that's the de-annexation of a tract of land on the south bypass. Is the westerlymost tract owned by Kobachi, which is currently under construction. The adjoining 2 tracts that the buildings being expanded from are located within the corporate limits of the city of Dalton. So the annexation request is basically a request for the Hamilton system affiliated entities to have all of their properties located within the main campus, within the corporate city limits of the city of Dalton. We were a little surprised to find there are a couple of them that are an island there, as you can see in the picture. So this is really a cleanup to get things within the city. And the de-annexation of the Kobachi plant would allow the expansion of that plant to be located outside the corporate limits of the city of Dalton. Annexation is all changing from the existing uses, which are either C1 or R7 to C2. This designation of the C1 for the main campus of the hospital was done, I guess, when the rezoning corporate consolidated rezoning report was done. Of course, a hospital use is not consistent with C1. So this is really something to correct the zoning for those areas of the hospital campus and to make them to be zoned for what they are currently being used for, which is a C2 use. Can I answer any questions?
The way I understand it, police, fire already have to service these properties anyway, correct?
That was the concern, dude. As you can see on the drawing, the blue represents the existing city boundary with Station 3 being so close and the police department. We're serving these sites through automatic aid. And so it made sense from a staff perspective to go ahead and annex to clean up the city boundary. But also the Loft site will eventually be tax producing. So we will receive some revenue off of that for the services provided.
Any other questions? All right, we're going to take these one at a time. It's number 12, ordinance 23-26, the request of HMC Holdings, Inc. and Dalton Woodfield County Joint Development Authority to annex 14.93 acres located on Lost Way into the city of Dalton, Georgia, high density residential R7. There a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Farah,
Second.
second by Mr. Mock. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 13, ordinance 23-27, the request of Hamilton Medical Center to annex 30.41 acres located on multiple parcels in the city of Dalton, Georgia is general commercial C2. Parcels 12-145-0101, 12-145-01002, 12-145-145-0103, 12-145-01-004, 12-145-03-000, 12-159-01 -021, 12-160-19, 12-16-34, 12-160-09, 12-160-37, 12-160-58, and 12-160-59. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Mock,
Second.
second, Mr. Farrer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Ordinance 23-29, the request of Hamilton's Children Institute, Inc. to rezone from neighborhood commercial C1 to general commercial C2, attractive land totaling 7.02 acres located at 1402 Walston Street, Dalton, parcel 12-184-01-047. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Farrer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Goodlett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 15, ordinance 23-30, the request of HLTC Inc. to rezone neighborhood commercial C1 and high-density residential R7 to general commercial C2, tracts of land totaling 18.73 acres located 1102 Burleson Road, 1110 Burleson Road, 1115 Professional Boulevard, and 1212 Broderick Drive, Dalton, Georgia, parcels 12-160-14, 12-160-15, 12-160-22, and 12-183.04022. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Ferris, second by Mr. Mock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 16, ordinance 23-31, the request of Hamilton Medical Center to rezone from neighborhood commercial C1 to general commercial C2, tracts of land totaling 95.13 acres located in Dalton, Georgia, parcels 12-159-0158, 12-160-021, 12-160-022, 12-160-023, 12-160-024, 12-160-03, 12-160-06, 12-160-16, 12-160-21, 12-160-21, 6, 12-160-39, 12-160-51, 12-160-01, 087, 12-180-02, 001, 12-182, 02, 007, 12-182, 02, 041, 12-182, 15, 12-183, 3, 12-183, 4, 01, 12-183, 04, 2, 12-183, 043, 12-183, 044, 12-183, 4, 5, 12-183, 049, 12-183, 4, 110, 12-183, 04, 111, 12-183, 04, 112, 12-183, 04, 113, 12-183, 04, 114, 12-183, 04, 115, 12-183, 04, 117, 12-183, 04, 119, 12-183, 04, 20, 12-183, 04, 21, 12-183, 04, 24, 12-183, 05, 12-183, 10, 12-183, 11, 12-184, 1, 1, 12-184, 1, 10, 12-184, 01, 39. There your motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mock. Second by Mr. What's your name, Llama? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. I bet you didn't think I could get through that. I'm making sure we're late. That's what I'm. You did that, you discussed Kobayashi, right?
Yes,
All right, let's go ahead and do this one. About a breath. Ordinance 23-32, the request of Kobayashi Healthcare Inc. International to de-annex 12.32 acres located 235, 245 Craft Drive, Dalton, from City of Dalton, parcel 1325 to 11. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mock, second by Mr. Goodlett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Then we've got 122. Ordinance 23-38, the request of Royal Oak Community Limited to rezone from high-density residential R7 to general commercial C2, a tract of land totaling 15.21 acres located at 1220 Broderick Drive, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-183-04-23. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mock,
Second.
second, Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, that did them all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Number 18, ordinance 23-33, the request of Juan Figaro to rezone from heavy manufacturing M2 to high-density residential R7, tract of land totaling 1.12 acres total, located on Waring Road, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-143-1103. Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you described earlier, Ethan is not here tonight, so I'll certainly ask the city attorney or one of our planning commissioners is here tonight as well, Mr. Perez, to correct me in describing any of these requests. But the first one is a tract on Waring Road. My recollection of this parcel is that the property has had an apartment complex on it for many years. And this is just a request to bring the zoning in line with the use. As you know, the city previously had pyramid zoning where if you had M2, you could basically have any use underneath that. And today, now that we have the unified zoning ordinance, it is important that as we catch these, that the applicants make the application to rezone them. And that's what's happened here. The staff recommended the rezoning to R7 and the planning commission voted to approve it.
Any questions? Hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Mock, second, Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 19, ordinance 23-34, the request of Brian Spence to rezone from medium density, single family residential R3 to rural residential R5. A tract of land totaling 0.19 acres located straight in Frederick Streets.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This site was previously had a fast food restaurant on it. It's located just across the street from Blue Ridge School. The petitioner bought the tract that totals 0.19 acres and from what I understand has already subdivided the property. And the intent is to build a duplex on one of the parcels and a single family residential house on the other. The request here is to go from R3 medium density single family, which on the drawing here is shown in that teal color, to R5 to serve that property use better. And you can see although the property is primarily surrounded by R3, there is quite a bit of R5 to the west. The planning staff reviewed this and gave it a positive recommendation. And the planning commission at their meeting last Monday also voted to approve.
I got just one question. On the paperwork, it has like X's, do you know what?
Jake, can you help me with that? On the application, there's some X's through a certain section.
It's on the quick claim deed.
What page was it, Bernadette?
379 in here.
Okay. This appears this is a quick claim deed that incorporated several parcels, which is not uncommon if there's common parties in a land transaction. And it appears that tract 1, 2, and 4 were not applicable to this rezoning, but tract 3 was. So that's just the legal definition for tract 3.
Any other questions? Your motion? Motion by Mr. Lama, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Farah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 20, the ordinance 23-35, the request of Gonzalo Galvin to rezone from medium density, single family residential R3 to rural residential R5, a tract of land totaling 0.29 acres located on Mitchell Street, Dalton. Who's got this one?
I'll take it. And Jake, definitely fill me in if we've missed anything, but this is located on Mitchell Street. And as you can see from the drawing, this is a 0.29 acres. And this property is somewhat obscured from the public street view because it is a flag lot, as you can see on the drawing there. And the request was to go from R3 to rural residential R5. There's not much R5 within the adjacent boundaries, but it did appear to be a use that was in line with the comprehensive plan, and the staff gave it a positive review, and the planning commission also voted to positively recommend it to the council.
Questions? The motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Mock,
I'll second.
second, Mr. Farrell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 21, ordinance 23-36, the request of Jorge Romero Laredo to rezone from transitional commercial C4 to limited commercial C1A, a tract of land totaling 0.21 acres located at 1127 South Thornton Avenue, Dalton. Got that too?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This one's the more unique one of the evening. This is a tract that's currently zone C4. This site previously had, I think, an insurance business and a massage type business in this. So it's right on the verge of commercial and residential. However, for the last short time, and I don't know if that's years or months, but this property has been used as a house. It looks like a house from the road. It looks like a single family detached house. And again, this is one of those old pyramid zoning things where if you had C4, you could do a residential use. But today, if a property owner is in one of these cases where they have a house in a zone district that's not appropriate, it's very difficult to obtain a mortgage or refinance if your zoning's not appropriate. So the petitioner requested C1A. C1A is a kind of a hybrid district that's used on some of these boundary type issues. It provides a little bit more flexibility, but the staff gave a negative recommendation to grant C1A. When the planning commission met last Monday, they voted to deny C1A and grant R5, which would allow this property owner to continue using it as a residential structure. The site has very limited parking, and that was one of the discussions of the planning commission, was that it would probably never be a suitable commercial site because of the lack of parking. And so R5 was the designation that made most sense to allow serve the petitioner's goals, but also to be consistent with what's actually happening there.
Is that R5 or R7?
It should be R5.
Should be R5. All right. Any other questions?
Petitioner okay with R5?
Were you at the planning commission?
The petitioner indicated that they just wanted to maintain the ability to use it for residential purposes. They have not been contacted, to my knowledge, that R5 was the recommended motion, but again, they did indicate that they just wanted to use it for residential purposes.
Motion to approve.
Motion is Mr. Mock. Second, Mr. Lama. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. There is no supplemental business announcement. The city council meeting scheduled for Monday, December 18th, 2023 has been canceled and rescheduled for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. City government offices will be closed Monday, December 25th, 2023, and Tuesday, December 26th, 2023 for Christmas holidays. Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned.
I don't know why you